The Empress Wu Shi was the first empress of the Emperor Xianzong of Ming. When Xianzong was a crown prince, his father chosen three girls, Wang Shi, Wu Shi, and Bai Shi, as Xianzong's future empress and consorts. In 1464, 17 years old Xianzong became the emperor. Several months later, the empress daughter Qian chose Wu Shi as Xianzong's empress. Unfortunately, Xianzong's true love was Wan Zhen'er, who was the future noble consort Wan, and 19 years older than Xianzong. Xianzong totally ignored his empress. The empress Wu thought she was prettier and younger than Wan Zhen'er. She couldn't understand why Xianzong didn't like her. The jealous made the Empress Wu lost her mind. She conflicted with Wan Zhen'er and ordered her to be raped. Upon getting the news, Xianzong was furious and demoted the Empress Wu. At that time, the Empress Wu only married for 1 month. The Empress Xiao Chengjing Zhang Shi was the empress of the Emperor Xiaozong of Ming. The Empress Zhang and Xiaozong had a great relationship. Xiaozong only had empress. He didn't have any other consorts. This rarely happened in ancient Chinese history. The Empress Zhang gave birth to 2 boys and 1 girl, but only 1 boy grew up, who was the Emperor Wuzong of Ming. In 1505, Xiaozong passed away. The Empress Zhang became the empress daughter. 16 years later, Wuzong passed away without any kids. The empress daughter Zhang had to choose Wuzong's cousin as his heir, known as the Emperor Sizhong of Ming. Unfortunately, the empress daughter Zhang made a serious mistake. She had a horrible relationship with Sizhong. Sizhong didn't respect her at all. In 1541, the Empress Zhang was buried with least ceremony with her husband in Tailing. The Empress Xiao Jingyi Xia Shi was the empress of the Emperor Wuzong of Ming. She became the empress when she was 14 years old. The Empress Xia had a good relationship with Wuzong, but during Wuzong's life, he almost didn't live in the imperial palace. So the Empress Xia didn't have many chances to meet Wuzong. In 1521, Wuzong passed away without any kids, and the throne was passed to Wuzong's cousin, known as the Sizhong of Ming. Because the Empress Xia was considered as Sizhong's sister-in-law, so she couldn't become the empress daughter. The Empress Xia kept the empress title until she passed away at 43. She was buried with Wuzong in Kangling. The Empress Xiao Jiesu Chen Shi was the empress of the Emperor Sizhong of Ming. In 1529, the Empress Chen was pregnant. Unfortunately, she conflicted with Sizhong and miscarried. Then she was seriously sick. Sizhong moved her out of the Kunning Palace and planned to demote her. At that time, the Empress Chen was already hopelessly sick. To protect the reputation, Sizhong didn't demote the Empress Chen, but After she passed away, Sijong buried Empress Chen in consort's tomb. When Muzhong became the emperor, Muzhong moved Empress Chen to Yongling and buried her with the Emperor Sijong. The Empress Xiao Yizhuang Li Shi was the wife of the Prince Yu, who was the future Emperor Muzong of Ming. She gave birth to 2 boys and 1 girl for Muzong, but none of those kids grew up. In 1558, the Empress Li passed away at 20. 9 years later, Muzong became the emperor. He posthumously promoted the Empress Li to the empress, and posthumously promoted their kids to the crown prince, Xian Huai, the prince Jing Diao of the first rank, and the princess Peng Lai. The Empress Xiao Duanxian Wang Shi was the empress of the Emperor Shenzhong. The Empress Wang was the longest surviving empress in Ming Dynasty. She had a really bad relationship with her husband. Shenzhong tried to replace the Empress Wang by his true love, the noble consort Zheng, but didn't succeed. In 1620, the Empress Wang passed away. 3 months later, Shenzhong also passed away, too soon to promote noble consort Zheng to the empress. The Empress Wang and Shenzhong were buried in Dingling, which was dug by researchers in 1956. The Empress Xiao Yuanzhen Guo Shi was the wife of the Emperor Guangzong of Ming. She passed away 7 years before Guangzong became the emperor. Because Guangzong worked as the emperor for about 1 month, which was too short to promote the Empress Guo. So the Empress Guo was posthumously promoted by the Emperor Xizong of Ming. The Empress Yian Zhang Shi was the empress of the Emperor Xizong of Ming. When Xizong was alive, he put all his efforts on making furniture. The court was controlled by eunuch Wei Zhongxian. The empress tried her best to influence Xizong and hoped he could become a good emperor. Unfortunately, she failed. In 1627, Xizong passed away without kids. The Empress Zhang firmly supported Xizong's brother in inheriting the throne, who was known as the Emperor Sijong of Ming. In 1644, Li Zhicheng conquered Beijing. The Empress Zhang suicided under Sijong's request. The Empress Xiao Jielie Zhou Shi was the last empress of Ming. She was elected by the Empress Yian. Her husband was Ming's last emperor Sijong. They had a great relationship and had 3 boys and 3 girls. In 1644, Li Zicheng's rebellion army conquered Beijing. The Empress Zhou suicided in Kunning Palace at about 34. Sooner, Sijong suicided in Mountain Jing. The rebellion army moved their bodies outside Donghuang Gate and publicly showed them to the average people. 2 weeks later, the Empress and the Emperor's body were buried in noble consort Tian's tomb. Thank you for watching this video. See you soon.